Okay, so today we learn the continuity of vector addition, scalar multiplication, and norm in a non-linear space. So, as already we have seen that this uh, already we have seen this. Okay, so let xd and y row be two metric spaces. Okay, and f be a function on x into y, then function f is said to be continuous at a point x not in x if for epsilon greater than 0 this if for epsilon greater than 0 there is delta greater than 0 such that this condition holds. Okay, so another one is sequential condition for continuity. So this condition is equivalent to this condition. That means a function f is continuous from x to y at a point x if whenever every sequence xn converges to x implies that fxn converges to fx in y. So this criterion is useful whenever your function is not continuous and you want to show that function is not continuous. You have to find out a sequence which converges to x, but fxn does not converge to fx. Okay, so we have to prove that vector addition is continuous first. So let us suppose that x comma norm be a non-linear space. Let us define the function f from x cross x to x by fxy is x plus y. So actually f is the function. What is the function? Which associate to each xy as a sum, the vector addition x plus y. So here f works as a vector addition. So vector addition is actually a function from x cross x to x. So we have to show that f is continuous on x cross x into x. So the metric D, of course, we need the metric spaces because we can talk about the continuity whenever this is a topological space, this is a topological space. So every metric space is a Hausdorff space, so naturally it is a topological space. You know that. So already we have seen if x is a non-linear space and y is a non-linear space, then their direct product, that is x cross y, is also a non-linear space. Similarly, x cross x is a non-linear space. So if x is a non-linear space, then it is a metric space and the metric D is induced by the norm. Similarly, x cross x can be made into a non-linear space by defining the appropriate norm, say norm 1 by norm x plus norm y. So by this norm, one norm, it induces a metric on x cross x, and that is called rho, and it is defined like this. That is rho, distance between two ordered pairs x, y and x dash y dash in x cross x is given by distance between the 2 points by the norm, that is difference of the vectors, norm of the difference of these two vectors. So this is just x minus x dash, y minus y dash, and this is from the vector property because x cross x is a vector space, so component wise subtraction is allowed. So xy minus x dash y dash means x minus x dash, y minus y dash. And now by the definition of one norm, we have norm of x minus x dash and norm y minus y dash. So what we have to prove? We have to prove that the vector addition is continuous, right? That means let us suppose that xn and yn are two sequences in x such that xn converges to x and yn converges to y. So what does it mean? Because xn converges to x, so for any epsilon greater than 0, there exists a natural number n1 such that this condition holds. Similarly, because yn converges to y, there is a natural number n2 such that whenever you are taking n bigger than or equal to n2, norm yn minus y is less than epsilon by 2, right? So here this is the distance between yn comma y. See, this is the distance between yn comma y. So I am writing directly here norm yn minus y. So of course, means after nth step, right? After n1th step, the distance between xn and x is less than epsilon by 2. Similarly, after n2 step, yn minus y, the distance between yn minus y is less than epsilon by 2. So whenever n is maximum of these two, still these two inequalities will hold. So for all n bigger than or equal to n, you have the norm of fxn yn minus fxy. That is the distance between fxn yn minus fxy is equal to norm, because f is a vector addition. So this becomes xn plus yn and this becomes x plus y. So this is xn minus x and then plus yn minus y. So by triangle inequality you have this one. And because n is bigger than or equal to n, these two will hold. So this less than epsilon by 2 plus epsilon by 2 is epsilon. So what you have proved? You proved that for there exists a natural number n such that whenever n is bigger than or equal to n, this fxn yn is minus fxy is less than epsilon. That is, whenever n is bigger than or equal to n, the sequence of xn yn becomes closer to fxy. That means whenever xn yn converges to xy, fxn yn converges to fxy. So this sequence converges to xy under the metric rho, but this converges to fxy under the metric D. And this proves that the vector addition, that is the function a of h, continuous. Okay. So I hope it is clear to everyone. Already discussed. Okay. ठीक है यहाँ तक ना, फिर से हमने रिपीट कर दिया, आप लोगों को प्रॉब्लम नहीं होनी चाहिए. Okay. Fine. Now let us prove that scalar multiplication is also continuous in a non-linear space. So again, let us say that G maps from K cross X to X. What is K? K is the field of scalars, that is either real number or complex number, right? Because in non-linear spaces, in function spaces, we will consider only two types of fields, either R or C. So let us say K. K is a field, either R or C. It is understood. How it is defined? It is defined that G of alpha comma X is alpha X. So what is this? This is actually scalar multiplication, right? What G does? G takes the one element from K and one element from X and associates unique element in X and denoted as alpha X. And this is called scalar multiplication. So what you have to prove? You have to prove that G is continuous in X. That is, G is continuous from K cross X to X. Again, the same problem. Because K is a field, so every field is a vector space over itself. Already you know K is a non-linear space under the norm defined by absolute value, modulus value. If C is, then modulus, otherwise absolute value. So K is a non-linear space under the norm is equal to modulus of X. And every norm induces a metric. So K is a metric space, K is a non-linear space, X is a non-linear space. So K cross X is a non-linear space. So there is a natural metric induced by the norm on K cross X. Similarly, X is a non-linear space, so this is also a metric space, the same natural norm. So here the distance will be defined by the norm. That is, what is the norm here? Here norm is mod plus you can take norm of X. Okay, you can take norm of X. This for K modulus function, and for X this is the norm function. So ultimately the sum of these two. So this is of the same type. Like here you have taken here one norm, is not it? One norm. So here one norm is mod of alpha plus norm of X. Okay, mod of alpha plus norm of X. Fine. So this induces a metric, natural metric. So I am not going into that. We are doing directly with respect to the modulus and norm. Okay, fine. Already we have taken, suppose xn is a sequence converges to X. Now choose alpha n be a sequence in K such that alpha n converges to alpha. Since xn converges to X, right? Limit n tends to infinity xn is X. That means by the definition, for epsilon is equal to 1, there is a natural number, there is a positive number. Okay, what we are taking? We taking epsilon is equal to 1. So which is greater than 0. So for epsilon greater than 0, there is a positive integer n1 such that whenever your natural number n is bigger than or equal to n1, right? That is after n1th step. Whatever the term you take from xn, xn will be closer to X. And closer to X means it is 1 closer. Means the distance between xn and X is less than 1. Okay. So that is by definition of the limit. Similarly, now norm xn can be written as norm xn minus X plus X. What we have? Done here, just subtracted x and added x. So this will manage minus x plus x, 0. So norm xn. And by the triangle inequality, consider this as a vector x and this is a vector y. So less than or equal to norm x plus norm y. And what about this? This already you have seen, this is less than 1 whenever n is bigger than or equal to n1. So ultimately, norm xn is dominated by 1 plus norm x whenever n is bigger than or equal to n. So finally, we have norm of g alpha n xn, g alpha x, because you have to show that g is continuous. So you have to take the sequence in k cross x. So that is a sequence in k and a sequence in x. So alpha n comma xn. So alpha n xn minus g alpha x. Here alpha n converges to alpha and xn converges to x. That means alpha n xn converges to alpha x. It is negative. So by definition of g, because this g works as a scalar multiplication, so it is alpha n xn and it is alpha x. Okay, our trick is just subtract alpha xn and add alpha xn. So it balances minus alpha xn plus alpha xn. So you will have the same thing, right? Okay. Now applying the triangle inequality. So the triangle inequality shows that this is norm alpha n minus alpha xn plus alpha is common, alpha xn minus x. By the property of norm, this alpha n minus alpha taken outside with the modulus function, and this alpha is taken outside the modulus function. And again, for each n bigger than or equal to n1, norm xn is less than 1 plus norm x, right? By 1. So let us call this equation number 2. Now again, because xn converges to x and yn converges to y, so for epsilon greater than 0, if epsilon is greater than 0, then this quantity is also greater than 0. What about this? Is okay? Because epsilon is positive, 1 plus mod alpha is also positive, at least greater than or equal to 1. Because if alpha is 0, then it is 1. If alpha is non-zero, then it is greater than 1. So ultimately, this quantity is always bigger than 0. So actually, in place of epsilon, we are taking this as an epsilon. So for this quantity, there is a natural number n2 such that for each n bigger than or equal to n2, norm xn minus x is less than this one. Why? Because xn converges to x. Similarly, because alpha n converges to alpha, for this quantity which is positive, there is a natural number n3 such that whenever n bigger than or equal to n3, this quantity will be less than this one. Now using 3, 4 in 2, okay? So now write n is maximum of n1, n2, n3. Then using 1, 2, 4, 1 भी यूज करिए, 3 और 4 भी यूज करिए, कहाँ पे? 2 में. So for n bigger than or equal to n, this will hold, that is alpha n minus alpha की जगह आप लिखेंगे epsilon by 2 times 1 plus norm x. तो epsilon by 2 हो जाएगा ये, so less than epsilon by 2. Similarly, norm xn minus x is less than epsilon by 2 1 plus mod alpha. So mod alpha divided by 1 plus mod alpha is less than 1. So ultimately this is less than epsilon by 2. So again less than epsilon by 2. So ultimately this is just epsilon. Okay. So this proves that the mapping G, that is the scalar multiplication, is also continuous in nonlinear space. So is it clear or any doubt, please? Okay. Anybody having any doubt? No doubt. That's good. Okay, fine. So let us prove the final thing. The final thing is that the norm on x, that is the norm function in a non-linear space, is continuous from x to r. So you know that norm is a function from non-linear space x in R. Norm is a function. This norm is a function on x in R, and this is continuous. What does it mean? So to prove that this norm function is continuous in R from x to R, because x is a non-linear space, so this is a metric space. R is already a metric space induced by the metric induced by the norm, right? So let us suppose that xn is any sequence in the norm linear space X such that xn converges to X, where X is of course a point of X. Then given epsilon greater than 0, there is a positive integer m naught such that whenever n is bigger than or equal to m naught, xn will be closer to X, right? Epsilon closer to X. That is norm xn minus X is less than epsilon. So this is nothing but just definition of the limit of the sequence, right? Now, because you know by the second triangle inequality, that is absolute value of norm x minus norm y is less than or equal to norm x minus y. So absolute value of norm xn minus norm x is less than or equal to norm xn minus x. So it follows that whenever n is bigger than or equal to m naught, this quantity less than or equal to this quantity which is less than epsilon. So ultimately absolute value of norm xn minus norm x is less than epsilon. And what does it prove? It proves that this norm xn converges to norm x, right? That is, whenever xn converges to x, norm xn converges to norm. Because norm xn is a value in R. So norm xn is a sequence in R. So that's why the absolute value, right? So what we have proved? We have proved that the norm on x into R is continuous. So in this way, today we have learned that the vector addition, scalar multiplication and the norm functions are continuous in a norm linear space. So today that's fine. Okay, so any question, please ask.